Season 2 of the Pat and JT podcast.
Oh man, I'm here at last. The first time, always gonna be the best. Come on!
Exclusively on the Hurrdat Media Network.
We should continue that little conversation on our podcast that we were having right before we hit record. People have their catchphrases. Everybody, and it's not like Lightning McQueen, the catchphrase. Was it not Kachuga? That was the guy in Cars 2. It was Ka-chow. Like, not those kind of catchphrases, but their go-to hook lines. Like a lot of salespeople have the "let's circle the wagons." That's their catchphrase. Button it up. Then individual people have.
That being said.
Yep.
Yeah, they use those constantly.
Someone at work here uses the catchphrase. It's full transparency. And a lot of people use at the end of the day. That's like at the end of the day. Yeah. Which I enjoy that one. I think at the end of the day, it's like I like it, but I don't use it
until you notice somebody saying it. Because then once you do, and you then notice that's all they say.
Yeah.
Every conversation. Well, at the end of the day, we used to work with somebody that did that too. At the end of the day was just at the end of the day. At the end of the day, I was like, oh my God, I didn't hear anything else you said.
So leading up to the end of the day, all bets are off. My
go.
catchphrase is, I'm super sorry. Sorry about that. Oops, my bad.
It's funny. You start to pick up on those, and until somebody points it out. There was a podcast, speaking of which, I was listening to Hollywood Raw, had Larsa Pippen on, right, this week. Huge podcast, too, by the way. She sounds so much like Kim Kardashian, but I really got to give Kim Kardashian credit here. I never thought I'd say that. Full transparency. But she has really changed her pattern of speaking. She doesn't and ah and say like as much as she used to, but her best buddy does, or former best bud.
A lot of her buddies do. A lot of her circle.
This Lars's was like, and so all I could hear is
every time she said the K.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, and it was a lot of likes.
Not that Larsa Pippen isn't a smart person. I don't know. I don't know if she's smart, but like Kim Kardashian is such an extremely intelligent person that I think it wasn't hard for her to drop that, like get a coach. We all have, a lot of people I know say like.
Well, the crutches,
the
words
crutches
like that, especially when you're around people that say things, you pick up on them. And some people are more apt to do that than others. Picking up other people's crutches.
Yeah.
One that is really hilarious is someone we work with. If he agrees with you, he always says, yeah. And so now I say that every once in a while.
So do I every once in a while. Yeah.
And then I hear other people doing it too. I was like, where did that come from? Who started that? Oh, yeah. Stop doing that. Just say one yes is enough.
I know, but it's like I agree with you. It's a yeah. I am agreeing. I'm on the same page. Let's move forward. We're all together. Yeah. And I'm excited still. I'm excited.
It is 5 emojis when you needed 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do it the same way and pick up on other people's catchphrases and things sometimes. But then other people drive me absolutely nuts.
Well, I know.
When I hear some.
And I'm an exclamation point user a lot.
Oh my God, that is the truth.
All the time. But I think that when I see somebody just texting without any punctuation, not like, I'm not talking run-on sentence, but if it's just like a sentence, it's like, good morning, how are you doing? With like, what? It seems so passive aggressive. It seems so like you're pissy.
Right.
So I just exclamation point.
Figure out what they're
right. Like, what's your deal?
You do
a lot.
And you like the word awesome a lot.
I do like it. It's awesome. Because I don't know. Okay, so like so when you're especially if like you're in an email or text string with people and it's like not the same information, but it's like we're watching a TV show, right? And you're like, you like, this is awesome. That's awesome. This is great. That's fantastic. And you're trying to comment on all that. It's like after a while you run out of, are they superlatives?
I start just using emojis.
Oh, like the big, yeah.
Head explode.
And that's fine.
But yeah, I remember a teacher actually had left this imprint on me about mixing up the words you use when you're trying to express the same sentiment. If you're in an email, try not to duplicate words
that makes sense
that are conveying your feelings about something that are adverbs, adjectives, those kind of things. Try and find something else to use. Try and mix it up a little bit so you're not saying the same word. Like I hate using the word great and then using great. And if I see I use great and great, then I'll try and switch it up so it doesn't sound monotonous or repetitive.
But after a while, it's like, okay, so what are the I'm gonna go to synonym.net.
Try thesaurus.
So thesaurus.
Thesaurus
Isn't synonym the same?
Is thesaurus?
No. I'm saying isn't a synonym a word that means the same thing? Like, I mean thesaurus.
If you go to thesaurus.net,
I'm gonna go to great.
Your synonyms is what? Yeah, synonyms like similar.
Yeah, the same, similar. Yeah. Okay, so big. That is big. That is enormous. That is
super,
high. That is huge. That is strong. That is tremendous.
Well, see, great also means in size.
Right. No, I know.
Great. To be great or.
But that's like to be great in size. Like if a
big.
moment is if a moment is big, it can be an immense moment, a strong moment.
Use the for the adjective of important or celebrated. That's what you're looking for. Those synonyms. So the synonym for great, you have 2 tabs. Do you see it?
Yeah, I see it.
So one is for large and one is for important or celebrated. So
if somebody says to me, I just got a job, I'm like, that is huge.
Yeah.
Right.
Some are interchangeable.
Right,
Some are interchangeable.
Oh, yeah.
But you've got.
I got a 17 on my ACT. I know what I'm talking about.
I'm sorry.
You don't have to explain this stuff to me.
I'm probably being
redundant. Don't talk down to me from your 32 or whatever the hell it was.
30. Excellent. Major. Remarkable. Those are good. Grand.
Okay.
Super would be another one I'd throw in there. Yeah.
So I'm going to look at I'm going to look at awesome. Breathtaking.
Please do.
Breathtaking. Let's see, synonyms. We're going to go. I mean, there's some of these that wouldn't work, but wonderful.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Amazing.
Awesome is bigger than wonderful. Wonderful is like, today's just such a wonderful day. Awesome is like, this is a effing amazing day.
There you go.
Wondrous. No. Imposing, and I get the multiple meanings of awesome.
Yeah.
So we don't have to go down that road 32.
Okay. Well, just 30, but whatever.
So let's see. More synonyms. I got to hit that. Okay. Breathtaking, grand, exalted. That's seems very religious.
Well, when things are awesome, awe-inspiring, astonishing, wonderful. I would, what other words could you use for awesome?
So I've heard people use the word impressive when they're talking about something negative, because impressive can be, it's impressive, like not like, oh, that's awesome, that's amazing. Impressive, like, man, that really left an impression on me. That's impressive. That is terrible.
That left an impression.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That could be either way.
Stupefying. Wow. That is totally stupefying. I'm going to try over the next 7 days, instead of using the word awesome so much, I'm going to go to this little synonym .us.
Thesaurus.com.
And I'm going to insert these words.
Okay. This will be interesting.
So this is
I can't wait to see if anybody notices your expanded vocabulary.
Boy, that is formidable.
And we'll see if I want to see how well you do too of using them in the wrong context, because that will make people crazy. Okay. So please do that.
Oh, I do that. When I send messages to my wife, I always use the wrong your, because I know it just drives her. I will send this beautiful, poetic, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and if I put a your in there, she'll just respond with the asterisk your, with the right your. Everything else is gone.
Didn't hear anything else you said.
I love it. Or R. I always use the wrong our. It's fun. I love it.
Talk about annoying.
I know.
Let's tell the story. Can we tell the story about your parents?
Oh, sure.
What you did to your mother?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So your mom is very on top of things when it comes to COVID.
Let's lead with this. The text ended. I texted my mom this text. I never thought I ever text her this, and I'll tell you the backstory. Sorry, Mom, but it's anal. Okay, so then we'll rewind.
Let's rewind too.
And tell the story.
She's really on top of things when it comes to COVID.
Man. She is. Haven't been in their house for a very, very long time, since like March, April.
Same here.
Been outside with them a lot, but not inside.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And you were at my parents' house in June? Wait, what?
No, I'm sorry.
So they had somebody over that, is also very conscious about this. But it just so happened that it was an attorney, it was a family friend, and he
had some paperwork to go through.
Had some paperwork. Yeah. It's like sometimes you just got to meet in person on certain things. Had him over, and at the time he was tired, but he wasn't feeling bad. Yeah. And a couple days later, ended up not feeling good,
which they didn't know at the time.
Had no idea. He was just tired. They knew he was tired. He knew he was tired, but he'd been working. He's an attorney. He'd been working probably 20-hour days. So a couple days later, actually it was more than that. It was like 4 or 5 days later, he tested and tested positive for COVID. So my parents were freaking out, because you think they're the utmost. everything.
They
They're
have
on top of
complete
it.
quarantine
Basically.
for 7-8 months.
Basically,
7 months?
how my dad is not dead because my mom choked him out in the ditch. He'd be the first to admit that too. So anyway, it had been so long, and my parents had no symptoms, nothing. So we are going to Colorado this weekend, and Sophia had spent time with my mom. She picked her up from school last week, and I'm like, well, they were in the same car for like 10, 15 minutes. Like,
which shouldn't be, according to the things that we've read,
shouldn't be a big deal.
that shouldn't be a big deal. Because, I mean,
Right.
what they're saying is it's prolonged exposure in close quarters especially if there is no masks. Not that, I mean, there are those that will argue masks don't matter. But the prolonged exposure in close quarters, conversing.
Exactly.
Right? That's like the ultimate,
Yep.
what do we do? So, they're side by side. They're probably not facing each other talking.
Right. And so, but then again, on the other side, we're going out to Colorado where Beth's dad and stepmom are very conscious about it. And we didn't want to bring anything there because, it's just been a bad situation.
Can't you go through a decontamination tent at the border?
That would have been awesome. I should have told my mom that instead of the anal thing. So we got on the phone with them a couple nights ago. I'm like, listen, Mom, you got to go it's been long enough. We talked to enough medical people that it had been long enough that if you had been exposed to it, it would be in your system and a rapid test would show.
Yeah.
And doctors, nurses agreed. So she's like, yeah, sure, no problem. So her and my dad went in yesterday. I'm like, listen, we need to get these. We're leaving on Thursday morning. We're out. I said, so we need to get these results. Otherwise we're gonna have to, change the trip date. And she's like, okay, that's no problem. So my last text to her was like, I'm super sorry, but since this is an ultra rapid test, it's new, it's anal. It's an anal swab. It's what I said. And crickets. But I know my mom, and I know she's sitting there going, what? Anal? Is that
Can't.
And it was a drive-up one at the Walgreens
how do you do that
clinic.
at a drive-up?
Right. Like, I know that's what she was thinking. It's like, so do I have to go butt up in the Walgreens parking lot? Zoink, zoink. So yeah, she ended up confirming that it was not an anal swab, and they were both negative. So
And you
good.
did not tell her, though, you were kidding.
No.
So she still thinks that exists.
I doubt it. I know.
You think she's looked it up since and thought,
I think. I guarantee. No, I guarantee she looked it up right after I sent her the text.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. I know.
Wait,
But,
I just called myself a name. Hold on.
I'd rather do an anal swab versus the nose deal. All day long.
God, the nose thing looks awful.
Although Sophia had one, and it wasn't. She's like, whatever. It went up, and it was like, I watched it, and it was the whatever that is, 6 inches long. It disappeared into her nose all but about 2 inches, and they pulled it out, and they're like, all right, thanks. And she's like, oh, that wasn't that bad.
No, I just can't. I can't because everybody's experienced that. For a while, like plucking a hair out of your nose.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the worst.
And it feels like it came from the back of your head.
And then you sneeze for 20 minutes.
God.
Yeah.
The worst.
And I don't know why.
Have you ever seen anybody? Remember when that video was going around when people were waxing their nose hair? Mm-hmm. That just looks terrible.
But I have done that before. I've waxed my
like
nose
a
hair.
lollipop? You just stick it up there and then...
It's like those little, you get those little strips and you just push them up there and rip it out. That actually hurts less than one hair. Because it's like this collective, it's almost an overload for your system and you shut down.
You block out.
But you have one little hair that you pull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they went, torture, one hair at a time. Mm-hmm. That would be torture.
Yeah. Jam bamboo under my fingernails, then that would be the worst.
Can't even imagine it. And interesting, we were talking to Rockett yesterday. We were on his podcast, Fast Rockett. Because he's talking about intermittent fasting and how he has reversed his diabetes, which is amazing.
It's pretty awesome.
And he also posted, if you get a chance to check it out on Facebook, he posted some of the graphs of his blood work, and it shows the reversal. His triglycerides were like through the roof, and he's dropped those back. He's also dropped back, I think it was his overall cholesterol and something else that he had graphs on, but showing the difference from 4 years ago to now. He's lost 70 pounds.
Yeah, he looks like a totally different person.
Absolutely. And we were talking about the COVID thing, and he said that one of the things he was doing is the doctor here in Omaha that he used to go to had told him about that zinc concoction to spray in his throat because that's where you get it first. Once again, I say, then why don't they swab your throat? Yeah. Why are we swabbing my nose? I don't, if it comes in through me breathing it in, I could see it could go through your nose too, but it's in the back of your throat where it first hits.
I'm not a doctor, but doesn't your nose and your throat meet back there?
They do, so why not go through your...
It'd be a lot easier. But okay, but maybe going up, and then that's why the Q-tip is so bendy, because it goes up and bends down versus going in and bend up.
Well, I think it does do that, because you've seen the kid that snort a piece of spaghetti through their nose before, right?
Yeah, I really want to. Yes,
through their nose and out their mouth.
I would love to have the balls to do that. I would love it. I really would. I couldn't do it. I would love to.
It would make me throw up.
Minus that piece of corn in 6th grade that went up the left one and out the right one, which still baffles me to this day. But I would love to. I don't know how you would even do that.
I don't know.
If you lay on your back and dangle it up your nose and then.
Yeah. It comes up and then it goes out, comes down the back of your throat.
I'm afraid that I'd get halfway through and it would like break and I'd aspirate. You know?
Yeah. It'd be stuck in your...
God, what a great trick. Have a long noodle and just go like floss in your head. Oh, God, that would
be... The gag reflex would be off the charts.
I would love it because I would do it, and I would do it at a point where we're having spaghetti, but I'd already practice, and I would wait till people were out of the room, and then I'd get it situated. I'd go, and I'd sneeze, and I'd go, oh my God! Oh, that would be. I need to practice that. I need to practice that. That would be awesome.
That sounds terrible. However we got there, I have no idea. Full transparency, no idea.
Fun. No idea.
No idea. And anyway, in the conversation with Rockett, though, one of the things that he would do a 36-hour fast. And so I was talking to him.
That seems just impossible.
Well, I stopped eating last night at 6.
So you're 12, 13, one of them, about 16 and a half hours in.
Yeah.
About ready to chew your arm off? Or you good?
No, I'm fine. And most days I wait until 3 or 4 in the afternoon before I eat. Anyway.
So then you're going to wait. So
it'll be 6 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Wow. I guess that's, I mean, if you can make it to 4 today and then you just make 4 or 5 more hours and go to sleep.
So it's 2 sleeps.
Yeah. So that's
included
not too
in
terrible.
that. So if you take 36 hours, throw in a couple sleeps, and I'm usually sleeping 7 or 8 hours. So that's 14, 16 hours.
Yeah.
Out of 36. That's not so bad.
That's not too bad if you think about it that way.
But he said that that's a great way to kickstart or to get over a plateau. And just the kickstart, the whole key is that by giving your body the opportunity and by not eating anything, that your insulin level drops, and then you start using your stored fat for energy.
You know what we'll do? I actually saw his video on YouTube. I'll grab that link and I'll tweet it out on It's Pat and JT on Twitter and on Facebook also. Minus the terrible camera angle on my camera, but the information is awesome. Rockett's he's such a smart guy, especially he's researched this so much.
He has, because he was on death's door. Yeah. Essentially. He's still dealing with the plaque in his veins, right, and throughout his body. But he's made such huge strides, and he looks so much better. And I didn't think he looked bad in the other picture. Really, not. Yeah. It wasn't like, oh, you look like you're dying. He was heavier. Mm-hmm. But then now when you look at him, you can just see the difference in his face.
Yeah, and just his energy and he's
healthy.
Just right.
Yeah, and so we got to talking about the salt licks. Which is
which it all makes total sense, but
now it's starting to come together, because before you were looking at me cross-eyed.
Well, I still kind of, just knowing that if you're hungry, you just open up a bag with a big salt chunk on it, like a deer. Hope you don't get blue tongue over there.
No, that's why they put out salt blocks or mineral blocks for cattle, horses, and for wildlife.
And it makes sense.
Because when they're hungry, helps them restore electrolytes and tide them over, get rid of the hunger pangs.
Well, and back in the day, I don't know if they do that much anymore, but they used to, as an athlete on super hot days, you take salt tablets.
Right. And
the exact same concept.
And what have they been telling us all this time after that is salt is the reason why you have high blood pressure. It's not. Mm-hmm. It's sugar. And the salt your body's craving for a reason, but not table salt. That's the problem. Redmond's, pink Himalayan or Redmond's. Redmond's is here from the United States, just so you know. But if you want to try it out, just Redmond's table salt. Mm-hmm. It's not table salt, but Redmond's salt. And they'll send you the crystals.
It's literally a block that you, like a sucker. Like rock candy. It's like a big chunk of rock candy.
It is. Does
it taste salty or is it different?
Oh, yeah.
I love salt.
It's awesome.
I know.
It's just like, and it just, thank you. And it just, doesn't take much. And he says if you have to sprinkle some in your hand, it's like a quarter teaspoon just to look out.
That's a lot. Normally, because I would go and take the salt and put it in my hand and but that's the table salt. But I never do that with
their salt.
I've never done a quarter tablespoon or teaspoon.
Oh, quarter of a teaspoon.
Quarter cup.
But I remember getting mad at my grandma or my dad and saying, "Gosh, can you just eat it first without putting salt on it? Just try it. Yeah, you don't need so much salt." Well, actually, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
With the right kind of salt.
You got to have the right kind of salt,
Yeah.
but that's what your body was craving was salt.
Yeah.
And you'll see it's crazy because that's what I've been doing, and things have been changing. And getting rid of the sugar is the big.
It's interesting, and it's like an 18-minute video. We were on his actual podcast is like 40 minutes, but this 18-minute video on YouTube. Just go up and watch it, and it's very informative. And he's a very smart dude.
Just some ideas, just some other ways of thinking of things. And he likes to not only mix in keto, which he's keto, but intermittent fasting. And he has some other brilliant ideas. But he's just started his channel. So if you get a chance to follow him, please do, because he just needs subscribers so he can get to that point at 100 where he will have his own URL.
Right. Just very exciting stuff.
And that will
It
help
is.
him promote it.
It is very
better,
exciting.
because right now it's difficult. So anyway, yeah, if you get a chance, he's got several videos that are up there right now that are really interesting.
Yeah, it's awesome. So
yeah.
it's Pat and JT on Twitter, and then on Facebook, just search It's Pat and JT, and we'll have the link up there to that video.
Cool.
So it's awesome, and it's fast Rockett. Thank you guys for listeting to our podcast. We're going to get to some text, but holy cow. Text us. We get to yours.
Full transparency.
Full transparency, we ran out of time. But it was awesome. 402-403-9478.
Like what?
Thanks for listening.
Pat and JT Podcast, a Hurrdat Media Production.